bars in a rave. Man, I go hard like Santan.
Evening, people. Well, it might be morning when you're listening to this, afternoon, whenever you choose to consume your favorite football podcast, your favorite podcast, in fact. Yeah, it's your boy, LDN Shabs, your man, LDN Shabs. I'm here on hosting duties today. Yeah, man, I'm joined by a couple of good fellows. Dr. Lee, what's happening?
I'm good. I'm just basking and enjoying this tasty hate watch right now. It's 91 minutes and Chelsea are losing 3-1. Liverpool losing as well. Beautiful stuff. After a win for us, I'm feeding families.
Yeah, there you go. There's nothing better. We win and the ops lose. That's drugs, man. Yeah, ma. So yeah, and I'm joined by my favorite continental bro. How you doing, brother?
I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed. Feel like I ain't been on in a couple of weeks, to be honest. So it's good to be,
man.
Good to be back, man.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, we got a lot to get into. As you mentioned, fresh off a dub midweek against Brentford at home. These winter games not easy. Just housekeeping as per usual. Hit us up on all of the socials. You know where to find us. If we're not on your Spotify Wrapped, yeah, big problems. If we're not on your Spotify Wrapped in your top podcasts, come on, man, big problems, man. Do better. We're here working hard, putting out good content for you loyalist Arsenal fans and for the haters as well. Don't think we don't know. We've done our analytics. We've got lots of haters. Yeah, just pre outing. Yeah, they're there too. We got to be at the top of your podcast list for your Spotify Wrapped up, man. Come on, or whatever it is that they got over at Apple as well. We know they do a little roundup and the thing, but yeah, make sure we're there. If we're not there, you need to do better. You need to share with your friends. You need to share with your family. You need to let the good people know about the good work that we're doing over here at TouchlineGunners. Come on. And yeah, all of the socials were there to be found. I don't always too much time. Usually my good brothers Cougs or Sean would be here. They're not here. They was at the game. They'll have a different take. We'll chop it up with them at a different time. You catch their thoughts and whatnot on the Twitter feed. But yeah, we just need to get into this midweek game. We saw some entertainment on display yesterday as well, off the back of the weekend games as well against Chelsea. I suppose it was maybe a little bit of a disappointment for some fans. For other fans, it was maybe kind of like, you know, more reasonable, more measured, and more balanced in terms of the judgment of that result. But yeah, we didn't lose at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. We maintained a 6-point gap with Chelsea, although City picked up points, and I think they closed our gap at the top of the league to 5 points. We had an opportunity here tonight just to ensure that we preserve our lead at the top of the table against Brentford, and we went and we've done it. We're going to kind of reverse engineer this, and I'm going to ask you lot about your thoughts on the lineup and what you expected Arteta to do. So, Doc, I'm gonna start with you. When you saw that team sheet, how did you feel? Did you feel it was the right thing? Would you have done anything different?
No, I felt it was the right thing. I feel that we are a little bit short at the back at the moment. So without Saliba and Gabriel, I don't think there's going to be any other options. So those choose themselves. Calafiori, I'm surprised he is fit. I wasn't sure if it was just the yellow card that the reason he was brought off, or it was fitness. But if he's fit, I think he needs to start as well. And I think that playing Ben White was the right decision. I think he's been really unlucky not to get many minutes this season. I think there's lots of opportunity he could have played and hasn't. So I was really happy that Timber they at least attempted to rest him. The only thing I was a bit not disagreed with, I was a bit shocked by is the Merino continued in the 9. I did think one of the 9s would come in, particularly Gyökeres, but Merino's probably in pretty good form at the moment, playing pretty well. So I'm not surprised when I think about it, he went with him instead. But apart from that, no, I was feeling pretty good about the lineup. Obviously, look, no game in the Premier League is easy. It's not easy at all. Brentford at home, they're a good side, direct side, really tough set pieces. But I thought, look, if we're going to rotate for any game, it's going to be a home game. So I was happy to see that we did a little bit of rotation. Saka get a bit of rest as well. So yeah, pretty much what I expected from the team sheet. A little bit of rotation. Just I was surprised with the striker choice.
Yeah. No, fair play. Dan, how did you feel about this? What's your thoughts on Marino? I'll ask, in the starting lineup, in the starting position, and what's your view, and how does that compare or sit with the general consensus of Arsenal fans on Marino, his positioning, and where he starts and where he plays for us?
I think man are harsh on Marino. I can't lie. I think he's a squad player. And when he comes in, he does a job. Like I actually think it's you damn near can't debate his impact. Like when he's played, he's made an impact. Goals or assists. He's made like some very, very key contributions in games. Again, he started today. He scored the goal. I think he got the assist or the pass for the Saka goal. There's certain elements about his game that I find annoying at times. But I think he has his uses, and as part of a big squad, he's someone that I've seen impact and help us win games. So I'm not. It's the same with Trossard. I think with Trossard, I see him at least performing a lot more better this season. But even in the past with Trossard, when people were shouting take him off, I was also part of them and said take him off and stuff. But looking back, you can't deny the contribution, and ultimately, contribution is what pays the bills. So. We have many footballers, and I think he's not featuring in my best Arsenal 11. But for the game today, I had no issue with him starting for continuity reasons. And I think he's actually played well today as well. So he's always going to do a few actions in game where you're like, what the fuck is Marino doing? But then he will do something like, oh shit, didn't know he had that in his locker. So it goes both ways in regards to that. And I take the rough with the smooth on this one because ultimately it helps us win games. I think we're a good enough team that whatever he does badly, we can snuff out and can compensate. So yeah, I'm not down on him at all. I think he's actually someone that adds value in certain scenarios.
Yeah. I'm gonna run some numbers for Marino, but in today's game, he had an XG value of 0.74. Obviously, he scored a goal. He had a couple of other chances where, harshly or not, he had some good shot value today. He created 2 chances. Obviously, got 1 assist. Got 1 shot on target. 2 of his shots were off target. So that's kind of like, obviously one of the chances that he missed, as mentioned already, was a big chance. That's kind of his tonight performance. When you look at his Arsenal performance, over the span of his Arsenal career so far, he has bagged what I believe is, I just had the numbers. He's bagged 13 goals for Arsenal in 64 games. His whole career at Sociedad, which spanned over 6 seasons, he bagged 27 goals in 242 games. So he's scoring at a rate far greater than that which he scored in La Liga, which is a much easier league. You could argue Arsenal a much better team. You could also argue with the positioning that he's being used.
Yeah, the role is different, isn't it? Right, at Arsenal, way different role. For the majority. Office. I think he probably played half a season up top, or damn near half a season.
Yeah.
And then like the last month he played probably up top. I think I might be stretching, but he comes on a lot when we're in scenarios where we're chasing a goal. And he's running into the box, like not really much midfielding to do. He's trying to get at the end of crosses. I remember the Newcastle game. I believe he was a sub in that game. He came on and then scored. Was it the equalizer? So yeah, that's kind of what he can add. And I have nothing against that.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
Marino is very, very decisive in the final third. So I feel like Mourinho is in a similar way like a poor man's Bruno Fernandes. He's going to frustrate you a lot with a lot of what he does. And some of the things he does are not very clean. I think in midfield, he can be a bit of a liability because he has an inconsistency in his technique, which can see him give away the ball, which is really frustrating. Right. And then he also has a lack of physical sharpness. So if he can get to someone and then he can win the duel, but a lot of the time he can be short. And then obviously, if you're going to a lot of these big clubs nowadays, they play man-to-man systems all across the pitch. So if he's losing out on his duel, it then exposes the team and then creates transition opportunities for the opponents. So that's why I feel like Mourinho can be a very frustrating, but then you have to give credit where it's due. He is very, very decisive in terms of his goals, in terms of his finishing, in terms of his ability to sniff out chances around the box, and his ability in terms of assist making and making the killer pass as well. Because he does those things relatively well. And we've only have a very few players who can break open the game from, particularly from a passing perspective. I would say he is one. I would say Trossard is one. And I'd say we haven't seen it that much yet, but I think Eze is one as well. Obviously, Saka can do it. But probably that is really it in the entire team. So he has useful qualities. He's got useful attributes, but he is a very, very frustrating player, and I can see why he's a bit Jekyll and Hyde to it. So he's not my favorite player in the world, but listen, I will always respect where respect's due. He does his job.
Yeah,
you know I liken him to like some people have got onto me about this before, but bro, Mourinho reminds me of Jude, but like a different kind of like it's a similar version of the same player, I think.
Did you say Jude Bellingham, or did you say Giroud?
Yeah, Jude Bellingham. Bellingham. Yeah. Like he doesn't have he's obviously not as physical as Jude Bellingham. He doesn't have as good or consistent as a technique. But that sometimes he can pull things out the bag, and then sometimes he does like really bad things. And I think Jude does that quite a lot as well. And then the whole midfielding bit, I just don't think either of these guys are proper midfielders. They can play there, but they're not proper midfielders. And I think they're both best as like second strikers essentially. And we have seen Mourinho play best when he plays that role for us. When we've asked him to do midfielding, it's not been as great, and it's not been as impactful. And I think football a lot of times is what people underrate is not. I'm not just talking about goals and assists, but what's the impact? Like Rice, for example, when we can have that discussion about 6 and 8, but he has the most impact on the football pitch playing as the 8. Sure, he can have impact as a 6, but his impact is not as great. So you need to play players in positions where they have the maximum impact, where they can express themselves and interpret their role in the best way. And that for me, Mourinho is the second striker basically. He's not really a midfielder in that regard. If he can play there, sure, every now and then, but it's not his best use in my opinion.
Okay. No, cool. Anything else you want to say specifically on your thoughts on the lineup before we get into the actual team performance?
It was good to see Ben White start a game, man. What was the last time he started a game? So yeah, it was good.
Man of the match as well. So yeah, he got an assist there. Very good. Okay. All right. So a couple points now. Just moving on to the team performance. Arsenal got an early goal, didn't they? As with we're talking about Ben White. Ben White looked like he was having a bit of a jolly up out there as well. He looked very comfortable. Was involved in some fluid exchanges, especially early on. And he put in a really good cross. And I think this is something that me particularly I've kind of missed. Like I love Timber. I think Timber's absolutely right to be starting games. Timber's a phenomenal football player, but there are different qualities, and we're allowed to appreciate the different qualities of all players. But Ben White and some of his overlapping on the outside and crossing ability, I thought, that's something that we actually miss, and it's a good combination, especially with a winger who prefers to cut inside. Usually it would be Saka, but Madueke kind of does that still. So it was a good piece of play. One of the things, one of the talking points. Sorry.
We're gonna have to talk about this Noni guy, man.
All right, listen.
We'll get to it. Don't worry.
Let me at him, man.
It's loading. One of the things, one of the talking points, and I wanted to ask you lot, your thoughts on it. But one of the talking points from Sunday's game was obviously Mosquera and Hincapié partnering each other at centre back, and I suppose again there are different views on how they fit, how they performed as a partnership. There were some that said actually they coped quite well together, and there were some segments that said nah, actually they should never play together as a centre back pairing. They're too similar in profile. They're both front footed. They're both aggressive. How do you feel today was for the period of time that they were both on the pitch? Bear in mind, it's a very different game, very different circumstances. But how do you think today was? And again, I'll start with I'll start with you, Sushi, and then
Yeah, I think it's difficult to I think it's difficult to make those assertions after one game. You know,
yeah.
I do get what and it's part of football discourse. You try and make shouts early, you try to be ahead of the curve. But I like sometimes I like just taking my time with it, and on those two in particular, like when we're talking about their partnership, I think it's very difficult to completely rule that out. I think there was, I'm not saying it was TG, but like when Saliba and Gabriel both came through, and a lot of talks on how they play and how they might not match and how they could be a good match. Some people were right, some people were wrong, and it's going to be the same with this one, I think. And I don't like going too early on this. I do think that Hincapié is very much got the same characteristics as Gabriel. I think he wants to meet the ball first. He's very aggressive in his duels. He takes the game to the opponent as well with the ball, a bit more than Saliba. I think Saliba is just extremely composed, so he doesn't force or press the issue, whereas I think Hincapié and Gabriel are more similar in that regard. So I think they're like really similar in characteristics. Whereas I think Mosquera and Saliba are slightly different. I think Mosquera is Mosquera is a very, very good player, but I think that Saliba is a bit more engaged in duels, like on the ground and on the floor, whereas I think Mosquera is more trying to read situations. Like today, for example, I've seen a couple of times where like he could win the header because he's got the run onto the player, and he got the height to win it. But I think he's letting the player win it so he can get the ball after. So he's playing the game a bit differently, whereas I think he needs to do both. And I think Mosquera, there's a little bit of a developing to do in regards to how to manage the game, temperament of the game. Whereas I think Hincapié, Gabriel, and Saliba are very much at the level, and I feel like all their decisions are typically the right decision. I'm clearing the ball now, I'm playing now, I'm trying to fizz into someone's feet. I think the decision making is really, really good. I think Mosquera is a bit behind on that, but I think as a defensive talent, he probably he's a bigger defensive talent maybe than Hincapié, to be honest. So exciting that he can develop there, but in terms of partnership, that they can only develop their partnership if both of them know what their game is 100%. And I think Mosquera is still figuring that out a little bit, whereas I think Hincapié, Gabriel, Saliba are established pros. So when people say they're not a good match, it's because they're not 100% of the game yet, both. And also, I think Mosquera is he's not really fully developed his game in the men's game. So I think those sort of opinions are early, because I could see Mosquera become a world beater centre back, and I wouldn't rule the same out for Hincapié, and then both of them would be able to play with each other because they're both have different characteristics, same as Saliba and Gabriel, if that makes sense. So it just takes a bit more personality from Mosquera, I think, for it to look very similar to Saliba, Gabriel.
Yeah, fair enough. Doc, you're a big admirer of our primary central defensive pairing and partnership. You're very vocal in your praise of Gabriel in particular for a long time. There are a lot of laggards and a lot of people who are kind of on the bandwagon to finally see his quality. You've been shouting his quality for a number of years before the general consensus. He's obviously a big miss. Hincapié, who's been asked to play the role today, how did you feel that as well as Sunday, how did you feel that he done?
I feel like he done quite well today. I feel like when I compare it to Sunday, I feel like he took a bit more of the big brother role today. And I feel like he took a bit more of the responsibility as the senior centre back in the pair today.
Yeah.
Whereas I felt on Sunday, it was kind of, they both didn't look a bit lost, but they both didn't look as assured and as confident in themselves. But I think Nkapie really stepped up today from that perspective. I feel he was smooth in his distribution. I feel like he was calm on the ball. I feel like he was, again, the same as German said, aggressive in his duels, stepped into his duels, didn't wait for no bounces, took the ball when it was on offer. So I was happier with his performance today. I do think I see him more as a left back in our system. Don't get me wrong. And that's just because of what I see in terms of the qualities I want to see in our centre backs. But look, these men are backups at the end of the day. I know they would get into most men's starting lineup and all that kind of stuff, but they are our backups. So we can not judge them and expect them to be Gabriel and Saliba at all. So when we judge them in the context of they're our backup centre back, I think both of them have been fantastic and have done fantastically well. I'm really impressed with the both of them, to be honest with you. And in the same way German Dan said, I think especially Mosquera, we don't realize how young Mosquera is, especially for a centre back. There's not many centre backs that are playing, particularly at the top club and the top level, at his age. And I feel that it's the same way. I feel like he'll be a world beater if he develops in the right way, and we don't have anything that hinders that development. So I'm not really going to be too harsh on a 20-year-old at centre back for maybe not so assured, maybe not being as confident and things like that, because I think he's a top centre back talent for real.
Well, fair play. He absolutely is, and I can kind of see that as well in Nkapie in I think fitting in that left back. I think the problem is we've got three players who are really look to be top quality at left back. Of Calafiori, I mean, yeah, we might have some dedicated time to discuss him later, but yeah, again, his ability is absolutely insane, and he deserves to be our starting left back at this moment in time. Like, you know, he absolutely, there's just a level of assurance, a level of composure. I think I had some worries about slow feet, moving his feet too slowly last season. It might have been legacy injury issues, or he might have been playing a certain way because of some of his injury concerns, but I've not really seen that. It doesn't look the same to me. He looks a bit more accomplished in that regard this season. Miles Lewis Skelly, I don't want to be too harsh on him. I think it's difficult when he's dropped in and expected to perform, but I think when you compare the standard that he set last season to some of the standards of his performance this season, they've not quite been what they were. That's fine. He's still a top player. You know, still rate him massively and highly. He's still done a fantastic job in terms of his breakthrough, and he will be very good. So that's not something I'm tripping about. But in Nkapie, when we signed him, looking at again some of the scouting tapes, looking at where he excelled, it was really commanding that left flank, being used as like kind of like an outside left centre back in a back three or a left wing back. You know, he's really commanding that left hand side. So yeah, I kind of see that too. So after the goal, we looked like we lost a little bit of control in the first half, and then in the second half, particularly, the game felt more tense as it went on. Sushi, like, what do you make of that team performance? Do you think something was lacking today? Considering let me just fit as well, and considering that Erdegaard's back in the side as well, like, do you think that we should have had more control over the game? Do you think again it's midweek and a bit of fixture pile up and we're looking tired? What's your thoughts on all of that?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I was watching the game and I didn't even feel any jeopardy. Once people 1-0 up, I know in the group people were talking about shit, I'm nervous and stuff, but I'm like, I'm not feeling it watching the game. Like, I don't think Brent. I know that there was a very good chance and very good save in the first half from Raya. Outside of that, I didn't really feel Brentford did anything, man. And I felt like we were knocking on the door for the second goal. There was 2 Calafiori shots. There was a Declan Rice shot. There was obviously the follow-ups that Marino tried to buy a penalty for one, and then the other one I don't think he got quite to. Then there was an open goal that Saka missed. Like, I was thinking, like, bro, this could be 3-4, really, if these men had their shoot moves on today. And yeah, I didn't really feel that jeopardy. I always felt like the second goal would come later at some point. Because Brentford tried to press us, but I did think we played through the press quite easily. I do think Zubimendi was quite good today. He played well. He looked sharp. And he started playing through the press, which I think if he'd have done that versus Chelsea, I think the result would have been different. But today he did that a couple of times, and we just created better openings. So I didn't quite feel that jeopardy that others felt. But I do recognize that we weren't. It wasn't like the games we watched like in October, where I don't think opponents, even had the ball. And when they did, we won it back in like 3 seconds. It wasn't, at the highest level of what we're capable of, but I felt relatively safe. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think this month it's a real test, man. The games come thick and fast. Like I said after the game, like I think people underestimate how big of a week we've had playing Spurs, and then obviously I say tough, but like emotional and physically taxing figure. I wouldn't say tough ultimately because we slapped them up, but it was definitely emotionally taxing and also physically taxing. And then the Bayern Munich game was in similar way. I think a tough game. We had 1 day less rest than Chelsea. Chelsea had two days off after their Barcelona win, and so we came into that game, I think, being more leggy than them, and I think that's what the game showed ultimately. You meet them at a different point. That game looks different in my opinion. And then we come into the Brentford game again. Was it like 3 days after? So the team is not on their last legs, but like Rice went down injured today as well with a cramp. I just feel like this is the type of period where the games are not going to be as well controlled as what we had in October, where the cadence of games was like not favorable, but like better manageable. Whereas this period is tough, man. And we really have to make use of the squad. So let's see who's there and available on the weekend. But it's good to get Gyökeres, Ødegaard, Jesus on the bench today. White playing today. We will need all of these guys, man, because we more guys are getting injured by the looks of things. So we need bodies back, man. I do think people underestimate how many injuries we've had this season, but I think we've managed it well enough so far.
Yeah, definitely. The injuries are piling up. And again, I'll roll over to the injuries in a short while. A couple of bits of business to get through before that. So, Doc, our first, our strongest, I suppose you could call them our strongest midfield trio. Yeah, if we're talking about Mosquera, if we're talking about Zubimendi, Rice, and Ødegaard all being available, all being fit to start, and all playing. That's not something that we've seen a lot this season. Actually, because of Ødegaard's injuries, he's been limited to very few minutes of football. When Ødegaard did come off the bench against Chelsea, I think by that time Zubimendi had already been subbed off. He'd been withdrawn. We know what Ødegaard and Rice are about. How do you think? Did you see anything today? Did you notice anything today about the way that they performed, the way that they kind of complemented each other or contrasted each other? Did you see any issues or things that you're curious about for this season moving forward in terms of the three of them?
Not really. I don't think we learned anything new today, personally. I feel that Rice and Zubi's partnership is really growing and going from strength to strength. I feel like they really start to understand each other as things have gone on, and I feel they really start to complement each other very well. I have been quite shocked with Zubimendi's mobility, particularly. He's actually really quick at stealing, going over like about a 5-yard distance and stealing the ball or pressing someone or winning the duel. I'm really quite shocked how quick he is over that 5 yards. If you get him running in long distances, however, different story, but he definitely snaps into the challenge and he's relatively fast in doing so. I think Zubi as well on the ball, fantastic, really controls tempo, really intelligent and really reads and feels the game. and slows it down when it really needs to, speeds it up when it needs to. He's honestly he's fantastic, man. He plays the pass that needs to be played at the time it needs to be played, and whatever foot, however it comes, like proper fantastic. Rice looked tired today, in my opinion. He was really started off quite well in the game, and you could see he was knackered. And I really hope that's not a significant injury, because we can't be without Declan Rice at the moment at all. And I was a bit sort of sad he wasn't subbed a bit earlier, really, because we could see, I mean, we called it in the group, we could see he was flagging for a while before he came off for injury. So I hope it's nothing serious. We didn't learn anything about the.
Damn, Doc, you tired, huh?
Yeah, I'm tired. We didn't learn anything new about them. I mean, we had Uncle Assault in the group talking nonsense about Odegaard as per usual. But I thought he was fine. He passed the ball well. Passed it well, moved it well, pressed well, wasn't spectacular by any means, just a solid 6 out of 10 game. He wasn't bad by any means at all. And got a lot of touches. So he, even without being spectacular, he does stabilize our game, and in terms of our dominance, especially when we're camping teams in the final third, he is a reference point for how we want to play. So his presence on its own, even without doing very much, is always quite positive. So there's nothing I don't think we learned today. I think they are a good three. They're going to play well together, but I don't think there were anything special or new that came up.
Okay, and staying with you, I'm going to ask you about our attacking fluency. Attack is probably the area of the pitch where we have had less consistency in terms of players available.
Yeah.
Throughout the course of the season. Obviously, we talk about load management and the importance of being able to rotate your players. However, the injuries that we have experienced across the squad so far this season have really impacted Arteta's ability to do that to an extent.
Yeah.
Meaning that when there have been opportunities maybe to rest, or when maybe there might have been opportunities to rest some players, given the fixture or the quality of the opposition, those players just haven't been available. What do you make of the attacking fluency of our team today per se, but then also more generally this season?
I think today and very recently this season, it's been very good. I feel like people are well over-indexing this set-piece thing. I feel like ever since that Newcastle game, we've kind of pretty much, as long as we've had people fit, we've kind of clicked from an offensive perspective. Like, look at today, how many chances we created. We were actually cooking them. Like low key, we were cooking them. We created loads of chances in open play. We should have scored about 4 goals today. The set pieces were terrible because Noni can't kick a football.
Let's talk about this guy, man.
Listen, German, I'm gonna let you finish, dog.
The set pieces were terrible because he can't kick a football. But in terms of actual, we created loads of open play chances. We should have been. The game should have been dead and buried long time. It was just finishing. So I'm happy with our attacking fluency, and let me say. Again, not his biggest fan, but it has coincided with Marino coming into the team from Goko's injury. I think we've gone up a level in terms of our fluidity and connect. No, in terms of how, but don't you guys agree? How we connect, how we combine, how we move.
Let me tell you something. When you take Marino and what he does on the foot pitch, and add that athleticism and that bite and that hunger, guess who you got?
This guy.
Guess who you got, brother? Oh, that's what I'm here to cook. You thought I was gonna do Marino prop.
To be fair, I thought he was gonna do Gyökeres prop. Boy, I
was doing something else. He went left.
He went left. This guy, bro.
Havertz is what I'm cooking, bro.
Yeah, this guy threw the ball.
When you see how the team is playing with Marino, you know that the right connections and the right sort of he does similar things to Havertz on the pitch in terms of when he plays the 9. And Havertz got more to his game as the 9. he's going to add more to the team than both Marino and Gyökeres. And I can't wait till that happens.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Disagree with me.
Because Marino, the cohesion is better with Marino at 9. I hate that I'm saying this, but it's big facts. The cohesion is better. What Marino doesn't do is offer any threat in behind. So he doesn't stretch the play. And there are times in games where you need someone who's gonna stress the centre backs by running in behind or going the other way. You know, he doesn't do that. So I think he's really good at dropping deep. He's a midfielder by craft. You know, he's really good at doing that stuff in terms of finding the positions and spaces. But yeah, he doesn't do enough of that. He's not that two-way threat. Havertz, Sushi's got a point, man.
Doctor, disagree with me. I know you don't. I know you don't want to because you're a reasonable guy, man.
Let's see, man, because the thing is, this Havertz guy just doesn't. He doesn't have the technical level for this. Like, I'm not convinced. He doesn't have the technical level for this. So
You're right there.
let me see, man. Let me see.
Wait there, bro. Wait there.
I've been looking to get this point off as well. People are talking about, Saka ain't got an assist in over a year. First of all, the underlying numbers show that he kind of creates at a similar rate. But it's funny how his assist jar has coincided with Havertz's injury. Watch that go up again. Watch that go up again.
Oh, he got assist. He got an assist today though, and he's been out the side. He's been out the team. Saka, you said, ain't got assist, but Saka's got assist this season.
Saka didn't have an assist for 364 days in the Premier League.
What? Nah,
bro.
Nah.
Cooks put in the group yesterday, bro. I'm not lying.
I can't see when
I'm here to tell you we don't.
And when a cross comes to that back post, Gyökeres ain't there, but I know who's gonna be there. That guy is gonna be there, bro.
So what you said, Gyökeres getting sat down, yeah?
Hey, listen.
You already know I think that.
Listen, we're not doing this today. Yeah, we're not gonna preload the Havertz propaganda. What we are gonna do is talk about Madueke.
This guy.
Listen, go for. I'm gonna leave you two to have the floor.
Now, Leroy,
and for Madueke's performance. For Madueke's performance today.
This guy is shit. You cannot trick me. You cannot trick me. I swear to God, this guy is shit.
God.
Like, firstly, let me start. This guy was definitely bought to be a major player at left wing. He cannot do anything on the left. He cannot do anything on the left. He's got no moves. He's got no steps. He's got nothing. Nothing for no one apart from passing it back and maybe a 1-2. That is it. On the right, he does look more comfortable, and I'll admit he can toast his man. He can dub certain man very, very well.
Man, he cooks a lot of man.
He cooks a lot of man. But this guy cannot find a red shirt for love nor money when he does it. Impossible. Like, can you find a red shirt, brother? That is all I want to see. I swear to God, this guy, he will dub a man and people get excited and say, Noni's playing well. Noni has not found a teammate in 45 minutes. And you're talking about me playing well. I'm sorry. Nah, he's not it. He's not it. He's not it. He's a chaos agent who will beat his man when he's on the right and only when he's on the right and only when it's certain man as well. And that's it. But nothing else is going to happen. You know how Saka brings together our right side? The connectivity, because he holds the ball well, he shields the ball well. He's like a post up striker at right wing. He's a platform for the team to play off. Like, every time Noni replaces Saka, the whole right wing dies. Everything dies. It's like a black hole that it goes there. Noni does a jink, and then it's out for a throw or a corner or who the fuck knows where it's gone. I'm telling you, no one can be. This guy is shit. I'm sorry. Rubbish. Useless.
The thoughts of the doctor are the thoughts of the doctor alone, people.
Rubbish.
Oh my God. Sushi, what are you telling me, brother? What are you telling me? What are your sentiments on Madueke's performance today?
Bro, I was watching our first half. Typically, I give it 20 minutes to come into the chat and start talking now. I try to watch the game first 20 minutes and then jump in. I go in the chat. First message I see was Nani's playing well. I'm like, hold on a minute, brother. He is not. Because he's going past the guy and then crossing it into someone's leg or crossing it off the pitch or dinking it far away from a teammate. As Leroy said, like he's got the ability to go past the man on the right. He's feeling himself. He's got a bit of like trickery, but the end product and like the decision making and the speed of decision making is his big problem. Today you saw situations where he could have scored 2 goals if he's sharper, but his mind is not sharp enough. The guy got Ruby Rose or whatever is going on his mind,
which is a nice thing to have. Let me be real.
I don't know about all that, man. When you're at work, focus at work. Focus on the work you're doing. If he needs snooze to concentrate, take some snooze, bro. Like, yeah. So for me, I wasn't a big fan of the signing. I'm not trying to be super down on the player, but I think we need to talk about him because I think there was a lot of positivity around him, and I still haven't quite seen that as of yet. Like, I think people are really harsh on Marino, and then people or similar people or same people, some of the people are the same people, wouldn't be like, praising Noni. And I'm like, Marino is way more impactful than Noni. He's a bigger value add to the team than Noni. As of right now, Noni's value add is very minimal. And I don't doubt that there is potential for that to be bigger, but it is not there right now. And really, he needs to go up, I think, several levels to make an impact in this team. Because right now, when I look at players that come off the bench and impact the game positively, I look at Trossard, Eze, Martinelli 100%. I think when Gabby Jesus is fit, he will be able to do that. So we've got like 3-4 players that will not necessarily start, but will be able to impact the game positively. I'm not looking at him in the same vein. So I feel like he lacks and he's behind all of these guys. So yeah, I wasn't pleased with his performance. I hope he can find a level of consistency or a level where he can actually impact games and the outcome of them without just going past one man and then crossing it into nobody.
Wait, Wahali, Pepe is better. Pepe is better. Why? What is it? Pepe or Noni? Please answer just one word.
Yeah, Pepe is better than them. Yeah, but Noni could be decent.
LD and Shabs, my dog.
Well, we know why. Well, we know why Pepe is better. We know why. He's been getting motivated at home, bro.
Oh my days!
Listen,
you know what? Pepe got his own Trump administration going on over there.
He's got
Pepe versus Noni is flirting versus harassment for real.
What you say? Noni needs the Trump administration as well.
Fam. Pepe got castigated. I tell you now, put Pepe in this team is better than Noni. Wow.
Hey, I'm crying. All right, so listen, are we gonna end a mini diatribe about attacking Fluency with Madueke holding all the smoke when there's another winger or wide forward?
Now he can hold smoke too, 100.
Who deserves some smoke?
Yeah,
they were both drunk. Yeah.
Are we gonna
Drunk.
dish it out? Are we gonna evenly distribute the corn? Or
Shabs, I know you're willing to do this one, so I'm a throw that to you.
Listen, remember, I've said all this. You know what it is. You know what? I watched Martinelli the other day, yeah, and I said, you know what? I owe this dog an apology. You know, it was the North London derby. I said, I owe this dog an apology because although he underperformed last season, I was talking shit about him. I said maybe I was too harsh on him. Maybe I did too much. For 2 years, I haven't been happy with his performances. So I said maybe. I have also said in that time, I think he's better used as an impact player. I think there were system issues that let him down. But still, I think he underperformed. By his standards, I don't know him personally, but I believe he would say he underperformed. So I watched him the other day and said, maybe I was too harsh on him. I watched his performance today. I said, no, I wasn't. This is why. It wasn't one of his better games today. Maybe again, I'm not going to flip flap. I would like to give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's a lack of fluency there for him. He's been in and out. He's been coming off the bench, getting important goals, but he has had injury issues this season as well. So he's been in the squad, out the squad, maybe lacking a bit of match fitness, sharpness, whatnot. So I have all of these caveats and these exceptions for him, but yeah, today wasn't a better one of his performances, man. And I'm just going to keep it polite and leave it there. If there's anything that either of you wish to add, however, the floor is yours.
I'm not gonna lie, it's not good for Martinelli so far. I think as an impact sub, however, like I know that he can add value. He can win us games off the bench.
Yeah.
That's why he is still a lot more valuable than Madueke. So
Yeah.
I don't mind Martinelli. I think he's a good player and he's a good squad player. He
Yeah.
can add value in certain games, but as a starter, his journey is done. I think Trossard is firmly better than him at this moment in time. You know, and Eze is no debate. And when we have the best 11 available, Eze will start left wing. So and then there will be Trossard or Martinelli off the bench. So unless he can find a way to be a number 9, I think his journey as a starter is probably up. But then I say that we have so many games, and you see how many players are being injured, and he will get a significant amount of minutes being in this role for us.
He will. I will say he's way better than Noni on the left.
Fair enough.
I'm saying that for sure.
Fair enough. All right. So look, some people have poo-pooed and made light about the volume of injuries that we've experienced so far this season. Today we saw Mosquera go down. He was withdrawn. We saw Hincapié go down later on in the game. There was a clash of heads. He did finish the game. I don't know the accuracy or validity of this, but obviously there's always that concussion protocol when there's a clash of heads and whatnot. It's encouraging that he finished the game. Hopefully he's okay, but it looked a bit worrying at the moment. Rice was withdrawn later on in the game as well. That comes when you consider Saliba again was missing as a precaution. Trossard missing as a precaution. Havertz is still not back. I think that's it in terms of absentees. So fair enough. And then you have Gyökeres who's back and was on the bench and came off late in the game. Jesus who was on the bench. Yeah, I think that's it. I think these are all the returnees. So it's a significant amount of injuries. Oh yeah, and of course Big Gabby. Significant amount of injuries. I think given how well we've performed this season and the fact that we're leading, the fact that we're clear, I think also given how well we recruited this summer, people are really playing down the significance of these injuries. But these are significant. Yeah, they're absolutely significant. And it's just like, I can't think of many other teams, and I can't think of any other teams in the league that could cope with the like-for-like injuries. I hope people understand what I mean when I say the like-for-like injuries. Like Gabriel's our starting left centre-back, and an absolute key player and a set-piece king. So imagine that missing from your team in terms of availability, in addition to all of the other players who we've had missing. We've had Saka out at points this season. We've had Ødegaard out. Ødegaard's just returned. We've had Madueke, who was brought in as an understudy for Saka. He's missed a significant chunk of the season so far. Martinelli's missed games. Trossard's missing games now. Havertz hasn't played any football. Neither has Jesus. Gyökeres, who we signed in the summer, has missed some football. It's really significant. Yeah. What are your thoughts? And again, well, I'll start with you, Doc, and then Sushi, you can round this up. But what are your thoughts on the current state of injuries?
It's a problem. It's a big problem, and I said quite a while ago that we have an injury crisis, and people were poo-pooing it, particularly the ops. But my point is, injuries obviously are never ideal. You always need your best players available for most of the season, and you need some injury luck if you're going to do anything in the season, no matter how well prepared our squad is. But my concern is that we keep getting cluster injuries around similar areas, and that's the big problem. Like, we had all the strikers out at one time. Now we've got, out of our 4 centre backs, we've got 3 of them out at the same time. It's injuries that when you have your starters injured and then their backups injured, that's when the level really starts to drop and you really start to get threadbare. And also the impact of injuries on the players who are actually fit, because they have to play more, in terms of the schedule, in terms of the intensity of the modern game now, that it just makes it really, really, really difficult for those players in terms of fatigue, in terms of risking injury from themselves, in terms of their form. So it's not great. I think Arsenal, I mean, I can't reveal, unfortunately, inside info on this pod, because my sources are very trusted, but Arsenal really need to look at things, and certain people in the club need to look at things and look at how they're managing things, and reflect on what they're doing, really, because I mean, this is getting ridiculous. I mean, if we look at how many days our players have missed, it's probably up to the upper end of the league in terms of time missed by players, in terms of severity of injuries and stuff like that. So we really need to try to make sure that we do better from that perspective. And there's many ways we can do that. So people say, "Oh, why?" I mean, I think who was it? Anna in the group saying, "Oh, we're only 12 or 11 games into the season," but injuries don't work like that. Like I said, if I play 4 games, but I play 4 games in 4 days, then I'm an injury risk, because people need to understand there's acute fatigue, there's medium-term fatigue, and there's longer-term fatigue as well. Neuromuscular fatigue, muscular fatigue in itself. There's many different factors to it. So we need to really think of our rotation, how we're using players, how we're managing players' minutes, how we're training. I think a lot of that is going to be how we're training, in particular, because we've built this deep squad. We're going to need to start trusting some people, man, to get some meaningful minutes, and not only throw them on when there's no jeopardy in the game, because otherwise we're just going to continue to get these injuries, and some of our absolute key players are going to continue to break down. It's not good enough, really.
What are some of the precautions that the club can take just to manage and mitigate against like kind of like ongoing injuries? You know, like there'll be an approach for every season from a club's medical department, and you'll think about your conditioning in pre-season, but you'll think about all the things that you need to do to get your players, to get your athletes through the course of a league season. Yeah. So I imagine there will be things that are worked on in pre-season, both getting the players ready and conditioned for the start of the season, but thinking about that I suppose that preventative approaches to that long-term fatigue. What are some of the actual practical things that a club could be doing in light of, like, you know, these like ridiculous fixtures and games every 3 days and whatnot? We want to keep our players fit and available throughout the course of the season. What are things that they could and should be doing?
It's very difficult to say, man, because that's such a multi-layered question. Like, sports medicine is so in depth and there's so much to it. You can't really answer that. But just to think about broad topics, it's going to be a mixture of what you're doing in training, which is absolutely important, and that is making sure you actually train at the right intensity. So sometimes the training intensity needs to be higher to replicate matches for certain people. So how you're managing and periodizing that the training and the load and things like that. Then the next thing is how you are managing the competitive minutes in terms of rotation, cadence, games, how many games they're playing per week.
Yeah,
it's there's so much to it nowadays, and a lot of it will be individualized for specific players, depending on lots of different things, testing where they are in terms of their neuromuscular fatigue at a specific time, and tailoring their training to that. But I'm sure the club are doing all of those things. But then there are going to be things that the club are not doing right, and they need to address those. But those kind of things happen at every football club.
Yeah. Sushi, do you think there's been the right distribution of minutes given the players that have been available across the course of this season? And when I say that, it's a bit of a preempted question. I do ask you because I look at today's subs.
Hey,
subs
bro.
were made,
All
four
right, bro.
subs were
These are not things for me to worry about. I need wins every week.
made. So
When it comes to the sports science stuff, I'm gonna pass it on to Leroy. If
Yeah.
Saka's fit, that boy need to play. If it's a Premier League
listen,
game.
so where I was getting at was Ethan, who was again an unused sub. And if we're talking about and thinking about rotation and listen, I'm not calling for even distribution of minutes. I'm just saying there should be a greater distribution of minutes. The volume of minutes Ethan's played this season.
Yeah, for
low.
me, even squad status and also Skelly's squad status is quite clear to me. They're both viewed as 18-year-olds, big talents, but they're not the first port of where the manager goes to when he's looking for solutions off the bench. Like, I don't think he's looking at them in that way. I think Skelly is closer to that. Given of what he can do at left back and how he replicates and plays in that role. I think and Ranieri in particular wanting to play centrally, he's got Eze and Odegaard ahead of him. And I do think there's a bit of learning for him to do in that role. And I don't think the club, after getting them in that new agreement, are in a rush to say, hey, this guy needs to get these minutes now. Is that right or wrong? For me, difficult to weigh up, because I think this season is not a season where we have room for everyone. By saying that, it sounds like I'm not trusting anyone here to play, but I completely get that we need to get over the line this season. The importance of getting over the line this season, I prioritize over Ethan or Skelly minutes. That's how I view it this season. If we do it this season and then the same happens next season, I will be critical of it, because I think we could or should be able to accommodate it for it. But I just feel like the higher priority and the target this season, we need to, every game is a final for me. So, and that doesn't mean that even is not good enough to play these finals, but I do understand why others are ahead of him, and with the contributions that they can make. So I think today again showed the manager has got Odegaard back after a long while out. He's trying to get as many minutes as possible in his legs. He probably will play him again on the weekend, and he probably come off a bit early on the weekend. But in this period, he wants Odegaard, Eze, Saka, Rice, all these guys fit. I do think today, for example, Rice looked dead on his feet. I'd have taken him off, man. Like, get Norgard on then, or drop Marino and get Jokeris on. You could have done that 10 minutes earlier. When people are critical of that, I fully get that, but I won't be critical if the players are, told that we're told that these players are fit, and then he's playing these players, because it just means too much after the last 3 seasons. But yeah, I do think there's a fine balance of managing it. I don't think we're getting it perfectly right, because we have quite a few injuries at the moment, and they are unused players. But I say that with all the context that I've just described.
No, fair enough. I was going to ask you, but you did answer it. I was going to say, so you don't think that a player like Ethan, a young player like Ethan, is good enough to decide games and contribute when you consider what some of his impact was last season, what some of his outputs were?
I think essentially it's just a bit of more of a learning curve. If he was, to be fair, what I don't get is that he doesn't want to play wide. Clearly, it seems like, which is why we bought Madueke, because I think if Ethan gets these Madueke minutes, he's cooking up something. I think there's a lot less risk playing out wide, whereas there is risk playing in the middle. And we've seen scenarios where Ethan wasn't strong in the tackle, or he wasn't quick to the second ball. He didn't really want to challenge for that ball, and then teams breaking on us. So
Yeah.
I get
He wasn't
those
as aggressive in
feelings.
the press. Yeah.
And he
I see.
answered that as well in the press, didn't he? So yeah.
Do you know what the thing about, because this Ethan thing, yeah, because I have no basis for this, by the way. I'm making this up. I've got a feeling his team have shagged him, because I've got a feeling, obviously they want to get more money in his contract and stuff like that, and his team have made a big deal and complained about him basically playing wide, not getting opportunities central and stuff like that. So I think I'm fine. Okay, I'm going to play you central, but that's the only way I'm going to play you. But he doesn't trust him there because of the risk, exactly as German Dan has said, and because of his team making a big deal of that, they've just massively limited his minutes, because he should have been willing to take whatever minutes are on the table, even if it's bloody left back.
Wherever.
And if that's what's happened, then that team have absolutely shaken them. They have absolutely shaken them, because, bruv, you're telling me what Madueke put out today. If Ethan was playing today, he wouldn't know. He's leaving with something. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
100%.
And we've seen that. We've seen as much, last season. We've seen as much. It's frustrating for me because I'm such a big fan of his, and I believe that he is capable of doing it. Like he has demonstrated that he can perform and make valid contributions at this level. He's done it in the Champions League. He's done it in the Premier League. He's done it against better opposition than Brentford, who we played today. So it's disappointing for me as a fan when we play games like today, where I know for some it felt tense. For me, it felt reasonably controlled. We used 4 subs. Yeah, and there are lots of games where we've not used the full allocation of subs. And I'm also not a fan who thinks, every game should max out your 5 subs. The game state is very important for when you make the subs, how you make the sub. Like what changes are compounded by everything else. They have an impact on everything else, that happens. So you should make the right decisions. But it is disappointing for me, from a fan's perspective, that Ethan hasn't featured more than he has this season. And I feel that he can and should have. I feel there are opportunities for him to have been given more minutes than what he has currently played. And I think that's the only point I will make in relation to him. But fair. All right. So
random point. Eze's got to play left, man. ASAP.
Yeah. Big facts. It's got to be that midfield 3 that we spoke about earlier. Eze left, Saka right. Yep. And then Havertz, Marino, and Jesus have all got to fight it out for that. They've got to fight it out.
Ain't no fight. Ain't no fight, brother. Ain't no fight. But on the Eze thing, quickly, I do agree, and I think it's good to see Odegaard back in the team. Because even just today, like people, I mean, for me, I think he was probably okay, but I'm more harsh on our good players. Like if Saka plays okay, I'm saying Saka was poor. Odegaard, if I'm being objective, he played okay, but for me, he was poor because I think he can do more. But like the way where he gets the ball, how he gets on the ball, how often he gets Saka the ball, how often he gets other people into play. Eze doesn't do these things, man. And and you guys know I'm a big fan of Eze. I think he's got bonkers quality. But his skill is not running the game. His skill is being on the periphery of games where opponents are not quite sure, is he in the game, is he out the game? And then all of a sudden, bang. Goal. Bang, he goes past 2 men, plays someone in. That's his skill. Whereas Odegaard's skill is running the game, completely, finding teammates, getting everyone involved, getting everyone touches, pressing. Like I don't think Eze has that skill set. His skill set is different. He's much more of a goal threat than Odegaard. So they are players that actually complement each other, but people have made it a Eze or Odegaard thing. It's not. It's a we need both thing. And if anything, Eze needs to play wide and Odegaard needs to play centrally to see the best iteration of this team, I think. So yeah.
Yeah. It is without a doubt that the pair of them are in our best 11. Like there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt. There can be no doubt in the majority of fans' minds. People say, but where's Eze going to play with Odegaard returns? Like That's not really. I don't think we brought Eze to play 10. Never. I think he can play there. But I don't think like the primary driver behind signing Eze was to say, yeah, he's going to play where Odegaard plays. Like Odegaard's the club captain. The coach loves him. He's the tactical leader on the pitch, definitely. So yeah, man. Okay. All right. Just before we do listeners' questions as well. So again, just a little roundup of the league. We're 5 points clear and 33 points after 14 games played. One loss in the league. We've only conceded 7, so we're in a very healthy and comfortable position. 5 clear of City, who were run very close yesterday. The City defense is looking very, very shaky. Fulham nearly done the business against them yesterday, I'll be honest with you. Villa crept up to 3rd, 27 points. Chelsea, who were singing and dancing, absolutely fluffed it today.
Celebrating a draw.
Celebrating a draw at home. The nastiest piece of work I've seen in a very long time. But they got blamed today. I said they're going to lose their next game. Don't even matter to me. Lo and behold, they're even further away from us now. So they can hold that. There's 9 points between us and them now anyway. So they can hold that. Palace are 5th in the league, right behind Chelsea. Mad things. So
how many points are they behind Chelsea?
1 point, a single point. So Palace on 23.
And Chelsea are talking about us. Focus on Palace, brother.
Sunderland are a point behind them as well. Brighton.
How many points are they off us? 9.
They're 9 points off of us, G.
Apparently not a big gap, yo. Not a big gap.
9 points off of us. So yeah, that's Chelsea. Liverpool are 8th on 22 points. United have got a game to play. They're 9th on 21 points. So yeah, man, it's really cooking. Arsenal, our next game is against.
It's really cooking.
Really cooking, man. It's really cooking. Our next game's against Villa. Villa away. I believe it's on Saturday. I believe it's Saturday lunchtime, 12:30 kickoff. Any quick thoughts about that Villa game? And if there's anything different that either of you feel Arteta should do in terms of the approach for that game?
Depends on who's available, right? Everything always depends on who's available. I'd like Saliba to come back in the team. Saliba and Nketiah probably. I'd get Timber back at right back. I think Club Brugge is the game after midweek.
Yeah.
I think you can really rotate in that game, given where we are in the Champions League table. So I think I would go strong for the Villa game and then rotate a lot of key players out of that side for the midweek game to then focus on the next Premier League game. So yeah, midfield, if Rice is there, Rice would be Odegaard as a left. I'll go Marino up top again, and I'll go Saka right.
I massively disagree.
Let's hear it, man. Speaking.
I go Marino up top again to start.
For me, the reason is so Unai Emery is obviously he loves playing against us. He loves playing against us, but he often plays the same. He has the same play against us every time. This really annoying compact mid block every single time. The issue with that is I feel that one thing, I'm not Gyökeres's biggest fan, but I think he's massively helped us with that type of game because his running in behind, it really disrupts that difficult mid block and it either forces them back. Well, a lot of the time it just forces them back into a low block, which then is a lot more comfortable for us. And it just means that because he goes in behind constantly, it just disrupts their defense and it gives our it basically negates their compactness and gives our creative players place to play. So for me, I would definitely be starting with Gyökeres because I think Marino just plays into Unai Emery's hands if he plays the same way he's played us every single time in recent times. And I would definitely play Eze and Saka because I feel like Eze, Saka and Odegaard are going to get cooking in that 10 and I would be having Gyökeres run. in behind constantly. Obviously, we want our Ryson to be fit. Obviously, Timber comes back in. And then I definitely think it's a game for Martinelli late as well if there are any issues. But I would definitely start Gyökeres because I just feel that for the way Unai Emery plays us, I think that is the perfect player to disrupt their system.
Mm. Yeah, interesting, man. Interesting. I like both of those takes, man. I'm not going to weigh in with one. I'm not going to weigh in with one in terms of what I would like to see up front, to be honest with you. I just know I need to see Saka, Ødegaard, and Eze as that line behind the centre forward. Whoever it is that starts, I think the three of them will feed whoever it is that is playing up top. They'll get service, you know. And yeah, all I know, Sushi, I think you said it before, we need to win. The mission is to win. Yeah. Saturday lunchtime, the lights will be on us. There will be an epic up watch from far and wide. We need to win. Yeah. Arsenal results don't mess up my weekend anymore. This can't be the one to mess up my weekend. Can't have that. If we lose Saturday lunch, anyway, I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking on this.
Hey, don't speak on lose, man. Don't lose like that, man.
I'm not speaking it. So yeah, man, we got to do the business. That's what matters to me. So yeah. And shout out to Arsenal. I think we haven't lost in 18 games now, all comps. So yeah, fantastic business, fantastic coaching. Got to give props to the coach, man. If you weren't performing, I'll be talking the most shit on his name. He's doing the business, man. Got to respect that. All right, listeners' questions, man. I've got a couple. Gonna get through as much of these as I can. The first one cracked me up, man. It's from Stina Blackestinas.
Oh my God, this guy.
Not a question, but can you spend 10 seconds laughing at Chelsea Hour, specifically Meads, after Chelsea lost 3-1 today? Happy face. That's hilarious, man. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm liking that. That is hilarious. To be fair, we've done it, but yeah, man. Anything that you want to add on the head tops of Chelsea Hour, boys?
I ain't got nothing to add about that, man.
Yeah, same. For me, it's I've been saying, you know, I think this season is one of those seasons like people are trying to drag us into these player comparison battles or this player's better. But I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't care.
You're trying to win.
My team is better, and we're gonna win something. I don't care about any of these little debates people want to have. All I'm gonna care about is like trying to come back and mate and just post trophy pics on all the tweets people are doing. I'm not gonna engage in these debates.
I hear it, man.
That's our policy this season.
I hear it, man. Okay. All right. I've got a question from at Y736599. This is a bot. This is absolutely a bot. Is the performance of the bigger players in the team, bar Rice, concerning as we get towards the tougher parts of the season? Are any of you not worried about the performance?
What do you mean by the bigger players? I don't get why. What's it mean?
Move on, man.
That's the question.
Move on, man.
What did you say?
I ain't got time for nonsense, man.
Boy. Yonko Abs, it was brief, but did you see that Real Sociedad midfield?
Hey, I can't lie, they were hooping a little bit. They created a nice opening. As Marino was doing some turns, played it inside to Ødegaard. Ødegaard carried it, started playing it in. Calafiori shot. Was it Calafiori shot? Yeah, Saka missed the chance. I was like, nah, this Marino guy feeling himself, man. Hey,
he was feeling
it. Marino was jogging today, you know. I'm not going to lie to you. Second half, out on that left, there were moments where he was out on that left touchline, yeah, and he was hooping, doing combinations with Calafiori, and Martinelli was dropping infield, and they were just doing 1-2s, touch and move, quick pass, give and go, you touch, I touch. I said, yo, is this real? But then, you see, when we talk about the inconsistency of actions, then he's got the ball in the left half space, and he just kind of does this clip pass into nobody.
Nah, man,
this guy's crazy, bro.
I've got time for him. I don't care. Hey, we haven't talked about Calafiori, by the way. Bonkers footballer, man.
Calafiori,
insane.
Fucking insane.
Hey, where's Khalil? This guy was talking about, do we really need to sign this player? Man, let me find his
Oi,
Hey,
One of
dunk
his
on his
fans.
head.
listen,
Dunk on that guy's head.
punch
But
that little you up, man.
I'm asking a question.
Punch that little
Find
you up.
me a better centre back on the ball. No. Find me a better centre back at football. Oh wait.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, he's crazy, man. He's crazy. All right, look. DA_Adigan. Big up DA Adigan. Thoughts on Benny Oyinbo's performance and how should we rotate him and Timber going forward?
He played well and he needs more minutes. Simple.
Yeah, I like that. Keep it there. _ASIR_Lee. Asir Lee. Do we need to do business in January? The injuries to the defense and potentially losing Zubimendi to injury is worrying.
I actually do think we need a midfielder if he's not going to trust. If he doesn't trust Norgard and doesn't like Norgard, we definitely need a midfielder because I feel like you can't have too many players, so we can't buy any more defenders. I'm sorry, we just can't do that. No. We have underpinned attack, we've underpinned defense, we just haven't underpinned midfield because he doesn't trust Norgard. So I do think a midfield addition may be on the bingo card, but again, it's creating spot space, but I could only see that happen if Gabriel Jesus leaves.
Who to both of you, Leroy, you can answer this, but Sushi, you can answer it as well. Who, if we do look to purchase a midfielder, I'm not going to ask who, but what type of profile midfielder do you think we should move for in January?
I think it needs to be someone that can play both positions, like not a Rice copycat, but like you need to be able to play both positions, like a complete midfielder type. I don't think we need to sign a specialist. We need to sign someone that can play deep and can play box to box as well.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Skelly in that position at some point. I'm not quite sure he's there yet, but maybe he can be given minutes there. If not, I haven't really thought about midfielders like that, to be honest. But yeah, I do agree we need someone. I don't think we can sign someone that can start, to be honest. I think we've got really, really strong midfield. But yeah, I don't know. Have you got someone in mind?
For me personally,
I like the guy at Frankfurt. I think I told you guys now. No, Leverkusen. New guy at Leverkusen.
Who? Which?
I forgot his name now. I put him in a group the other day. Let me just quickly.
Oh, Mazza.
Mazza.
Yeah, he's good. He's good, but he looks more like a 10, to be fair, like an attacking midfield. Not saying he can't do, but just he looks more like an attacking.
He wasn't attacking mid, but he was like playing like an 8, or he's been playing like an 8 for Leverkusen. Okay. He comes quite deep. So I like him.
You know who I really like? Might be a bit expensive, although he's at Valencia. Javi Guerra. I think Javi Guerra is a.
We were linked with him, weren't we?
Say it again.
We were linked with him, weren't we?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe we were linked with him. Valencia are always having financial problems, man. Like, you could get this guy. We could sign him. I think him being an understudy, he will get enough minutes at Arsenal. He's not like a fully fledged Spain first team international player. He's another Spanish midfielder, of course. You know, some people might say, "Raw, like how many do we need?" But I like him. I like his profile. I think he can do all the different bits of midfielding. But again, I like his traits and attributes. He's a strong runner.
Yeah,
strong runner. Well. In terms of carrying the ball.
I probably would want a younger player here, just because I feel like that midfielder that they're very robust typically and they play a lot of games. But yeah, I think Skelly needs to get start minutes there. But I think other than Mazza, I like the guy at Lille, Bouadi.
Ayub, yeah, Bouadi, yeah, player man.
So I would go for someone like that.
Yeah, the thing is, he's gonna cost them madness.
That's fine. We got money, man.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Look, quite a few more. So, King Keshi. Yeah, King Keshi. I swear it's King Keshi that was on last week. But yeah, King Keshi, evening fellas, 14 games into the season. Surely our attackers are going to wake up at some point. All of them have been average at best thus far. I know we touched on attackers a bit earlier. Do you not agree with the sentiment? Do you think you got a point? Do you think nah, we're being harsh? Is it about lack of availability?
We haven't been played our best attack yet, bro. Like
Yeah,
we had quite a few injuries and that. Do you know what I mean? Like I think we literally went a whole month with basically just Trossard, was it Marino? No, it was Trossard, Gyökeres, and Philippine. Who else was it? Saka. And then we didn't have Jesus, we didn't have Havertz. Then Gyökeres went down for a month, and then we had Marino, Saka, and Trossard. Martinelli was injured. Like we've had attackers out injured, so I'm not surprised none of them have really cooked up. I think Saka's on decent numbers. He's got what 4 or 5 Premier League goals. As they got 4 or 5 Premier League, as they got like probably 5 now, isn't it? With the hat trick.
hat trick. Yeah,
Decent numbers. Like I think they'll like Eze and Saka will probably end up on double figures. The guy that's going to play centre forward.
Saka's on 6 league goals. No,
League
6
goals.
goals. 6 goals. Sorry, not league goals. 6 goals.
Yeah, league goals. I think is 4.
Yeah.
So I think like there will be, and we'll have 3-4 players on double figures. Trossard, Saka, Eze, I think will end up on double figures, and then one of the strikers, either Gyökeres, Havertz, will end up on double figures as well. And that's 4 players on double figures. I think that's good. I think the attack is warming.
Yeah.
I agree. Cool. It's warming. I think it's going to go off. I ain't worried about it.
Cool. King Lex has asked Saliba straight back in if fit or back for that finish tonight's game, and also time for the attack to carry the team until the defenders are back. I mean, if Saliba's fit, Saliba plays. That's a given. But do any of you disagree? Is that even a question? Yeah. Again, away from home, Saliba fit, he goes back in. Right?
Yeah, he goes back in straight.
Yeah. All right. Baitface Nate has asked, if you had to build this team around 3 players, who would they be?
Ooh, 3.
Yeah.
Well, Rice, Saka. They're 2 easy ones.
I think it's built around 3 players, to be fair.
The second one's going to be hard. I'm going to say Saliba just because of age.
Yeah. But in your heart, it's Gabby, isn't it?
In my heart, yeah. That's probably one of my favorite players of all time.
I'm not going to lie. It's for me, Saka, Rice, and Saliba or Calafiori.
I know you want to say Havertz. I was waiting for you to say Havertz.
I'm not that crazy.
Don't you dare. I said,
I'm not that crazy. Maybe I need to become more crazy, actually.
Don't you dare, bro. Don't you dare. I was waiting to fight you.
Maybe I need to become more crazy.
Sorry, what's your 3 again? Say it, Saka.
I said Saka, Rice, and then Saliba is the obvious choice. I think if I had to pick a left field choice, it's not left field, but I would pick Calafiori. I think he's very close.
Yeah.
I can't lie. This guy is a Real Madrid level player.
He is. He's a Galactico, 100%.
Yeah. It's hard to disagree, man. Saka's our star boy. Rice has been absolutely amazing. I think Rice is a massive part of why we are the way that we are right now. And just for variety, I'm gonna say Gabby. I'm gonna say Gabby, man. I think we missed something when he's not there. I think if Gabby, Rice, and Saka are on the pitch, we're gonna win. We're gonna win in every third.
They're the leaders.
You see what I mean? Like, we're gonna win in our defensive third in our box. We're gonna win in midfield, and we're gonna win in the final third. That's how I feel. And I feel the team's already low key built around those. Well, the team's built around 4 players. If you throw Odegaard into the mix, this is who really our team is built around. But yeah. Okay, just a couple more. Mirad Semra has asked, which match day will the points gap over City be replenished? City versus Sunderland on match day 15, or Palace versus City on match day 16? Yeah, and he's saying, for the record, we play Villa away and we play Wolves at home.
City get a points deduction anyway, so I don't care.
I like that answer, you know. I like that answer. And I think we've covered this, you know, but I'm going to ask it anyway. JXNNY F. Looks like Johnny F. Why does Madueke get props for the same play Pepe was bringing to the table?
Hey, thank you, man. I didn't see that, by the way. I brought up Pepe.
No, I know you did. Yeah, I know. But it's funny. The reason why I'm asking and reading it out is because we said it earlier on. Boy.
Pepe's better than that. I swear to God. I called him client Javinho.
I suppose the difference is the context, because we signed Pepe as a marquee £72 million signing when our team was absolute arse cheeks.
Yeah.
We've signed Madueke as a £52 million squad player to pad out the squad.
All right, Mother's Javinho is better than Money. I'm serious.
Why? So look, man, that's it, man. That's it for listeners' questions, man. There's nothing else. We've covered it. Yeah, this will be up this will be up everywhere you can stream content quicker than you realize it. Be sure to promote. We ain't sat here for an hour and a half for no reason, giving you entertainment, humor, facts, and cold hard analysis as well. So yeah, man, make sure you promote that. Brother Lee, Brother Sushi, thanks for sitting this pod out with me. And yeah, man, peace out, people. All right.
Love.
Bless.
Yo, when I spit bars in the rain, man, I go hard like Santan.